Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Get to Know Your Alumni. Today's guest, the senior lab technician of the department. I wouldn't want to mention his name because I do not want to mispronounce his name. So I'm going to have him briefly introduce himself. Good afternoon, sir.
Good
First of all,
afternoon.
would want to say thank you very much for opening up your doors to us and also taking time out of your busy schedule just to have this interview. We are so humbled.
That's
So
fine.
please, we want you to briefly introduce yourself, your portfolio,
Mm,
yes, basically your bio.
all right. So my name is De-Gualle Deku, and as you said, I'm the senior lab technician at the lab. That's the Department of Synthetics and Sports Science lab, and that's where I've been for a couple of years now. Yes, and so um, in my role as a senior lab technician, I'm taking practical sessions, majorly assisting lecturers to take them through practical sessions. So that's basically what I've been doing in the lab. I've been doing in the lab for the past years now since I was here. So basically, yeah, that's it.
Right. So please, can you describe your career after graduation and how the department has had an influence in your career as a professional exercise scientist and then as someone who owns your own franchise?
So after I was done with school, I became a TA. Yeah, so that being a TA has its perks. One of the perks was that it opened me up to research, especially when you're working with our HOD. Yeah, you do a lot of research, and research broadened my horizon, gave me a very good scope. So I was not waiting for the government to say they're going to post me or employ me or go and find a hospital to be. No, I decided to stay on my own for that time being, and that's where lifestyle fitness was birthed. And I also thank the fact that my brother was so supportive a person in that whole journey. And so lifestyle fitness was how I started, and I started from a passion. Right? What my passion? My passion is that I didn't like to hear someone say I have back pain. Yeah, so I found that passion and I used that as my franchise. And so from there, I did home service. I did have a place. So I said, okay, let's now move on to home service. So home service was how I started. So in home service, I go to the client's place, treat them, and then yes. And then that went on for about a year. Yes, but then I had the call up again from the HOD to see if I can come back into the department and make it work. And I said, fine, no problem. And I put in the application and then here I am. Yes, but then I was not sitting idle. I made it work. And because of that, I had a couple of clientele that I think currently I'm still treating, especially if I go back to Accra. Yeah, so I've not stopped entirely. I still do treatment for people here in Kumasi because the passion is still the same. And I still don't want to hear people say they have back pain.
Thank you. Someone would say exercise science during your year wasn't so popular, yet you decided to enter into the program. What influenced your decision?
Thank you for the question. So I remember back, when I was applying, I've been applying for schools, and it requires you to write an SOP. That's a statement of purpose. And one of the things I start with is my passion, how it started, how and why I wanted sports science. So it started from a program on, I think, GH1. It's called sports science. So they have athletes, elite athletes. They come in and then they assess them based on their performance because they have seen that, oh, the way they are performing is outstanding. So let us find out how they can influence the general public and the things they do. And it was a fascinating program for me. Though I was watching cartoon, but that program particularly that's like high level for people who will be older than me. I was finding interest in that, and that's how it happened. So when I came in here, I didn't even come in as sports, and I started computer science. I'm sure you wanted to probably ask, and then I stopped there. And I came to the sports and exercise science. So I was not looking at whether people knew or not. I knew what I wanted to do with it. And my brother too was also, as I said, was very supportive. He was pushing me. You want to do it, then go for it. So I went for it, and that's how I'm here today. And I can say that I've even treated international clients, and I'm still treating. Yes. So I think in as much as it wasn't popular in my days, I knew what I wanted, and I had that portfolio, had the experience, had the exposure, and I'm making it work.
The department has come very far. I mean, it has moved from solely exercise science to having three options: physiotherapy, exercise science, and sports management. We'd want to know, with your background in exercise science and you being part of the department now, how do you think, and was it really necessary for the division?
Yes. So if you say that's division, then I would still want to clarify that it's not division, actually is growth. As of would have to know that it was just growth, because when we started with sports and exercise science, that was the plan. The plan was to grow, because we didn't just visualize where we are as where we want to be, but then we visualize where we want to be as something that has a progressive plan. And part of the progressive plan was to now grow, and in the growth process, we have to now divide. And even with this division, there's more to come, because we'll still be divided properly with the department. So now department of the tap. But then for now, when you come to first, everybody's going to the same course. So it grew because we, of course, as I said, you want to start with the fact that we know that KUniversity is a leading university in quality education worldwide. So we want to maintain that in as much as we have all these courses, there is no physiotherapy course in the whole university. So it had to be part of us. So once we added that, and then I think it was like that. But then we had to now separate decoupling. And the decoupling, you have to now say, okay, if you have this is what you want to do, then we have a pathway for you. And then sports and exercise, sorry, exercise and sports therapy, this is what you want to do. You have a pathway for you. And then sports management, because we have seen that the whole continent, even the whole country needs these crops, right? So we cannot abandon any crop. And we still brought everything in and said, okay, we want to have it divided. And that's helped everybody. And so at least when you come, you know where you're going to and you know what you want. So this division is helping all of us, so that at least we can still have everything, the best of everything, still having a science background. And so we see that sports management is not hosted by business school, but it's hosted here because we still want them to have the science background. Because in any event, emergency event, we still want our people to be able to say, okay, I can even administer healthcare in emergency situations. And that's what makes us stand out. So it's not just the business side, but then the science background with management. Because managing people too, you need science. So there's a science of management. So yes, so all these crops were not necessarily divided, but then we are just growing. And I'm sure would grow even more.
So, one of our sole aims for having this interview is to create awareness to the students in the department, get them to know that they have a future. Yes. Aside the money aspects that
Yeah.
you can explore in the field.
Sure.
Yes. So, we would want you to speak on the prospects of the options and how open and broad it really is, as you say.
Okay, so where you're saying prospect, you're saying, okay, after school, what am I going to do? Right. Um, African Games had given us a lot of, let me not say hope, but then it's broadened the scope of where our program can be used. Okay, so first African Games, because we hosted it as a country, we hosted about 55 countries, that's 54, 55 countries, except for one country later. And now 54 countries coming to our country means that we have to have high standard or high grade facilities. Now, because of that, we build these facilities. All these facilities down there, who is going to manage them? Sports management people. You understand? Is it going to end here? No. We want to go to the African Union when we are having African Games and big and say we want to host it again. If we host it, means that we will have more facilities coming up. Now, these facilities will sit and rot if we do not go there and take up those places. That is why this is running. Already, we know that sports is already gaining grounds worldwide, and Ghana is no different. Ghana is beginning to grow in the sports sector, and we need people. Now, if the physiotherapists have niched themselves, it means that when our physiotherapists go out there, they have a place to be, and that's a good thing for them. You understand? And we are also niching for exercise and sports therapists so that we would have the job market ready for them. So when they go out there, they're not coming to look for jobs. Because one of the complexes that they built was the Botiman complex, sports complex, yes. And the Botiman sports complex has, I don't know how many facilities, a lot. About 5 tennis courts, an oval, swimming, about 3 places. You understand? Who's going to be managing all that? Who's going to be training people there? And they, from what I heard, they won't even turn that whole place into a school, like a sports school. Who will be teaching there? Of course, if there are courses where it needs excellent sports therapy, we need our people to also be there. We need lecturers there. We need clinical instructors in EST. In you also all these things are already in the pipeline. We've recently, by God's grace, we've gotten how do you call it, approval from the Allied Health Council. So we have license. So apart from physiotherapy having license, ESTs are going to have license. And that's what we are saying, that the prospects are beginning to become huge. So we don't sit there and say you can know. We have our people currently with a sports club. When I visit this club, I visit this guy, I can gel with them because I know my own member is still there with them. My own students who I by God's guy taught is there, and it's amazing. Do you understand? So the prospects are actually there and huge. Once we are growing, nobody's going to be left behind. We're all growing. So we need managers to manage the place for us. We need people to train the people for us, to help them with their fitness, and we need to treat them. You understand? So even in the clinic setting, yeah, definitely if they go to the hospital, you have a problem, and they say go and exercise. Exercise therapists will now come in and step in and take it up from there. Of course, our physiotherapists know where they are supposed to be in the clinic and all that. So I think the prospects are huge. Yeah.
So, so someone who is in high school would want to enter into the department. What are the prerequisites? What major would you advise the person to belong to in order to be able to enter into the program?
So the program was made as a pure science based course. So you'd have to have your major in science, basically. So in as much as we have sports management somewhere, that doesn't mean that it's for management. So you have to have science background. Understand? And then you have a passion in management. And then you now combine the two. Now, we have to grow from the place where we think that when you are just this, you cannot do that. I know someone who also did this course, my senior, when I came, he finished, he did PhD, he did human biology, that he's now a doctor. And he also did law. Just mix the two. So he's not a doctor and a lawyer. He has mixed the two. He's a legal practitioner. That's how they call them. Legal, not full lawyer. There's a way you can do courses and you can legal. He has merged the two. Nobody say you cannot do. So if but then for this, the one that we need is science as your background, as your basis, as your foundation, so that you're not coming and struggle here, because it's going to be run on a science platform. So you need to have your science background. So if you want to go to EST, then you go. If you want to go to sports management, then you also enter inside nicely with your science background. So I'll say that the department is running on science. So you have to come with a science background. Yeah.
So, finally, our last question. So, another aim of the interview is to also reach out to our alumni who are home and then abroad to come aid the department. And since you are part of the department, you will be very open to tell what are the things we need and how they can really come to our aid.
So a very important thing here that we need to address is the fact that we all need support, right? No man is an island. We've all heard that. I mean, we cannot stand alone. We cannot say you want to do this alone. And so if you're an alumni, you're watching, you completed sports and exercise science from 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. And I mean, all of you are alumni. Wherever you've gone to be, you understand? Wherever you are right now, you can help the department. We will need funding. That's a major thing, a very basic thing that we all need, because we need labs, we need facilities, we need instruments, we need gadgets that the student will come in and they'll be able to use, and then we'll have the standard the same as the one we have here being abroad. You understand? The quality of students that we are rolling out would have that level of understanding. So we need funding. So any way you want, I mean, if you have dollars, you can send dollars, just pound sterling, please send pound sterling. And then say, department, let's fix these up. If you have connections with companies that can give us, let's say, a treadmill with a VO2 max. You understand? That would measure VO2 max. These are things that they are doing at that level with athletes. We need it here to teach our students. If you bring it, me, I know how to use it. I'll use it for them. You understand? So let them bring it, because we almost had stuff like that, but then the funding was the problem. So the university didn't want to sign for us. So if you bring those expertise, bring the money, you bring the affiliation, you bring the networking. We also want to have affiliation with physiotherapy schools. So our people here will have online classes with top people in physiotherapy, so there's international best practice, so they know the current trends. But then we need that. We cannot. We are here. You are there. So where you are, just let's connect and let's make it work. I mean, if you are hearing us, thank you very much, and that's what I want to tell you.
All right. So soon we've come to the end of this interview. Really want to say thank you to you again, Mr. Prince, for the opportunity. Thank you so much. It has been an insightful interview. We are very much grateful. Yes. So God bless you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.